Hey Jason, here from Simply Swider. Is your refrigerator making clicking noises? Don't panic. I'm going to show you exactly how to diagnose what's causing it and fix it yourself. The good news, most clicking issues can be solved in under 30 minutes without calling a repair technician. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. Now, here's the thing about refrigerator clicking. While it's normal for fridges to click occasionally, sometimes it becomes way more frequent or just sounds different than usual. You're probably wondering if you should ignore it or if your fridge is about to die on you. Well, I'm going to walk you through the 5 most common causes, and trust me, most of these are easier to fix than you'd think. All right, so the most common culprit behind clicking noises is going to be your condenser coils and fan motor. These guys are usually located at the bottom or back of your fridge, and they're working hard to keep everything cool. Here's what happens. When your condenser coils get all gunked up with dust, lint, and grease, your compressor has to work overtime. That means it's cycling on and off way more than it should, which creates that clicking sound. The fan motor can also start clicking if something's jamming the blades or if it's just wearing out. I had this customer last month who swore her fridge was dying because of all the clicking. Turns out the coils hadn't been cleaned in about 3 years. They looked like they were wearing a fur coat. After a good cleaning, the clicking stopped completely. To check this, listen to where the sound's coming from. If it's from the back or bottom, you're probably looking at this issue. A faster clicking rate usually means the fan blades are hitting something when they spin. Here's how you fix it. Safety first. Always unplug your fridge and wait 5 minutes before starting. You'll need a vacuum cleaner with a brush attachment and a coil cleaning brush. About a 15-minute job. As you can see here, gently vacuum all that buildup off the coils. Don't go crazy with the brush because these coils bend pretty easily. Once that's clean, check the fan for any debris that might be blocking it. Fire up the fridge and see if that clicking's gone away. Another thing that'll cause clicking is problems with your compressor and start relay. Now, actual compressor failure is pretty rare unless you've got an old fridge, but the start relay, that little guy fails all the time. The start relay is basically what kicks your compressor into gear. When it goes bad, you'll hear clicking as it tries to start the compressor but can't quite get it going. Your fridge might not be cooling properly either, which is a dead giveaway. Here's a simple test. First, unplug your fridge and wait 5 minutes. The start relay is usually located near the compressor at the back or bottom. I'm pointing to it on screen now. Remove it by pulling it straight off, then shake it gently. If you hear rattling inside, those are broken internal components and the relay needs to be replaced. I remember this guy who called me in a panic because his fridge was clicking like crazy and not cooling. We pulled the start relay, shook it, and it sounded like a maraca. $10 part, and 5 minutes later, everything was back to normal. For the start relay, this is totally a DIY fix. Just make sure you get the right part number for your specific model. If it's actually the compressor that's failed, that's when you might want to call someone like me because that's a much bigger job. Now, if your fridge is clicking but not cooling and you're seeing other weird issues like the lights acting up or the ice maker going haywire, you might be looking at a faulty control board. The control board is basically the brain of your refrigerator. When components on that board start failing, could be blown capacitors, bad relays, or loose connections, they can produce clicking sounds as they try to function. This one's pretty easy to identify because the clicking will be coming from wherever the control board is mounted, usually at the back of the fridge. You might also notice other electrical gremlins, display panel acting weird, temperature not staying consistent, that sort of thing. Here's the deal with control boards. You've got two options. You can try to repair the specific component that's failed, which is cheaper, but there's no guarantee other parts won't fail soon after. Or you can replace the whole board, which costs more upfront but gives you peace of mind. Here's my recommendation. If you're comfortable with electronics and can spot blown capacitors or burnt components, individual repairs cost $10.30. Otherwise, replace the entire board. Control boards typically cost $51.50 for most models, up to $350 for premium units. Factor in your fridge's age. If it's over 10 years old, replacement parts may be harder to find. Here's something interesting. Defrost timer clicking is actually normal most of the time. These timers click as they advance through their cycle, just like a clock ticking. The problem comes when the clicking gets way too frequent or the timer gets stuck. Your defrost timer controls when your fridge goes into defrost mode to melt any ice buildup on the evaporator coils. When it starts malfunctioning, it might click constantly or at weird intervals instead of the normal rhythm. You can usually find the defrost timer behind the refrigerator, in the control panel, or sometimes behind the kick plate at the bottom. If you're hearing clicking from any of these areas, especially if it's not following a regular pattern, that timer might be on its way out. To test this, you can try manually advancing the timer with a screwdriver. Turn it slowly until you hear it click into defrost mode. You should hear the compressor shut off and maybe some water dripping. If it won't advance or if it immediately clicks back, that timer is probably bad. Replacing a defrost timer isn't too complicated, but you'll need to make sure you get the exact right part for your model. They're usually pretty affordable, maybe 20 to 60 bucks depending on your fridge. Don't forget about your ice maker if you've got one. These things can be real clicking machines when they start acting up. The ice maker has its own motor and various moving parts that can create clicking sounds when they malfunction. Common issues include the motor trying to cycle but getting stuck, water fill problems, or the ejector arm hitting something it shouldn't. Sometimes ice gets jammed in there and the whole mechanism keeps trying to work around it. If the clicking seems to be coming from your freezer area, and coincides with when the ice maker should be running, that's probably your culprit. You might also notice it's not making ice or the ice cubes look funky. First thing to try is turning the ice maker off for about 24 hours, then turning it back on. Sometimes that resets everything and solves the problem. If not, check for any ice jams or obstructions in the mechanism. You might need to remove the ice bin and really look around in there. If those simple fixes don't work, you could be looking at a motor replacement or other internal ice maker components. That's usually when I tell people to weigh the cost of repair against just living without the ice maker for a while. Now you can see the most affected models on the screen right now, and honestly, clicking issues can happen with pretty much any refrigerator brand. That said, I do see certain patterns in my repair calls. GE refrigerators, especially the newer models, seem to have more control board issues than average. I've replaced a bunch of those control boards over the years. LG and Samsung units sometimes have defrost timer problems, and don't get me started on some of the Whirlpool and Maytag side by sides. Those condenser fans seem to collect debris like magnets. What I'm showing you here covers most of the common refrigerator models from the major manufacturers. The troubleshooting steps are going to be pretty similar regardless of what brand you've got, but always double check your specific model when you're ordering replacement parts. The good news is that most of these clicking issues are fixable for way less than what a service call would cost you. We're talking about parts that range from 10 bucks for a start relay up to maybe a few hundred for a control board on a high-end unit. Here's your action plan to fix refrigerator clicking. First, clean the condenser coils. This solves 60% of clicking issues. Second, test the start relay with the shake method. Third, check your defrost timer operation. Fourth, inspect the ice maker if you have one. And finally, consider the control board if you're seeing other electrical issues. Work through these steps in order and you'll likely solve the problem for under $50. Most of the time, one of these fixes is going to solve your clicking problem and save you a couple $100 on a service call. Just remember to unplug that fridge before you start poking around, and don't be a hero if you're not comfortable working with electrical components. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your refrigerator running quietly again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.